Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Highly Talkative, where we get high in conversation and discuss many topics from personal to community to anything that's going on in the world. So sit back, get cozy, and let me talk to you. Let's go. All right, y'all. So, of course, welcome back to another episode of Highly Talkative, where things get real. Today is Monday, April 6th, and holy fuck, I can't believe that we're literally in April right now. I'm currently sitting in my bed trying to put my baby girl back to sleep. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. So lately, I think that I will say like this past week, I've been feeling a little bit more confident. And that just goes in the sense of me doing more on my own, especially with baby girl. At first, it was like a little bit of a struggle, but we're going into her being 3 weeks now, and I have gone out and done like a few things on my own and with the boys. So it just really kind of helps build my confidence there. And then on top of that, I also started making dinner again. Um, I did kind of take the first couple weeks off just to kind of get acclimated again and kind of see how I'm feeling after having a C-section and after being a mom of three and having a newborn. At first it was like a little rough, like moving around and everything else, of course, but coming up on this third week, I just feel a lot better than what I've been feeling before, on top of, you know, of course, healing and again becoming more accustomed to being home and being a mom of three. And that also factors into like the self care that I've been doing as well. Like I've also really been making sure that I'm been taking care of myself. Um, I went and got my nails done. I went and got my feet done. Um, Thankfully, my nail tech does work from home, so I was able to like really bring my baby and just what's the word I'm looking for? Really just be comfortable, not around a lot of people. I know that it wasn't really that dusty because she had like this little fan type of thing, but yeah, I was able to like just make sure she didn't have a lot of stuff around her and keep her in her car seat and keep her away from like all of the dust without it really affecting her. So that was a good thing for me. When it came to getting my feet done, she was able to get me in like at a super early time where it wasn't really that many people inside. So that also helped with that. Um, but again, like I said, just really taking care of myself and getting my needs and necessities met, or my needs and my wants per se, because I didn't have to get my nails done. I just really wanted to. Um, so that helped out. I've also like been getting up in the morning and taking showers and just getting dressed for the day, not really just sitting around the house in like sweatpants or like leggings or anything like that. Like I'll actually get up, shower, look decent, do something with my hair, and then put on something nice. Just helping me, stay grounded. And then lastly, when it comes to like my self care, I've really been wanting to go on walks. Um, I haven't like fully accomplished that yet, so maybe this week I'll really make sure I get outside and really go for a walk and start putting that in my regimen, especially because I haven't been working out. So I think this will kind of help. I should have went to Foodie Land this past weekend with my best friend and her family. That way I could have eaten and went on a walk, but totally missed the opportunity there. Side note, do any other moms or dads, or let's just say parents, do any other parents, like when you're putting your baby to sleep, instantly like feel tired too? Like I always find myself putting my daughter to sleep and then like slightly dozing off and then popping up like, oh my God, girl, get your ass up. And it's literally every time. It's like she does something to me where I'm putting her to sleep and I'm knocking out right alongside with her. Um, I've also noticed that like when she yawns, I yawn. Or like when I yawn, she yawns. And it never ever fails. I think it's so cute. Okay, now I'm getting back on topic. Um, so yeah, self care for me is like a really important thing. I think it also helps factor into like not having like postpartum depression because, like I said, at the end of the day, you're really taking care of yourself, and that's something that I think is very important, like with or without a baby. Let's be for real. Also, factoring into the self care, I do my daily affirmations still. Sometimes I like might miss a day or two, but I always go back on those day or two and I write those down to include the one that I have to work on for that day. And that just kind of helps me also stay grounded. Sometimes those daily affirmations really factor into how I've been feeling about life or how life has been treating me or how I really need to envision or look at life, right? So those are so important to me. I know you guys hear me talk about the daily affirmations all the time, but I'm always going to advocate for that, just like I advocate for therapy. Those daily affirmations, either like whether you get them off of a website or it's something that you tell yourself and you constantly write down, those are important. And make sure that when you're doing them, you're intentional because you don't want to just write it down and then like forget about it. You want to write it down, you kind of want to think about it, you want to remember it, you want to apply it to your day. That helps. Um, and then I had a daily affirmation from the 31st of March that really resonated with me, and I know it did because I wrote it down in my notes for me to go back on and recite to you guys, and I guess kind of tell you the feels that I got from it, which was I love that no matter what I go through, I'm still soft and full of love. That part of me never goes away and no one can take it from me. And that's 100% true. If you know me, you know I'm hard, but I'm soft too. Like I have the best of both worlds when it comes to that. Excuse me, I like had a list situation going on there. But like if you know, like I said, I kind of have the best of both worlds. Like I can be really soft and loving and feminine and helpful and all of the above, but I also can be very hard, very who the fuck are you talking to, very don't fucking play with me, very just hard body. But I'd rather be soft, but also not played with. Um, Also, I'm still full of love. Like, although I've encountered a lot of shitty situations and shitty relationships and all of the above, I still have like this undesired, like, this love inside of me that is crazy. Like, I really want to be able to love someone's son the appropriate way, but also receive that love in return because I've always like given everything that I can possibly give to a guy in relationships and then ended up getting shitted on. And I know women who have been through what I've been through, maybe a little worse, maybe not as bad as me. And it's always fuck them niggas, niggas ain't shit, this, that, and the third. And I just don't feel that way. Um, yeah, the men or whatever, boys, whatever, that I messed with in my past weren't shit. And, I don't like them, but I don't apply that to all men because all men are not the same. Some men were raised the right, it doesn't even have anything to do with being raised because at the end of the day, you're going to do whatever you want to do no matter what you see your mom or anybody else or any other woman in your family go through. But there are those men out there who will love a woman the appropriate way and give give back what's given to them, like that reciprocation. So I wholeheartedly believe that there is that out there for me. I just have to be patient enough and wait for it to come to me. So yeah. Um I was listening to Crystal Renee's podcast, Keep It Positive, Sweetie. And first off, I want to say I encourage everybody to listen to a new podcast every day, to include mine. Like, listen to my podcast and then listen to a new one. But listening to a new podcast every day, every week, whatever, it gives you more insight on things, because I know this sounds dumb to say, but I didn't know that there were so many black rapping men that wrote books as like memoirs, or just like things that they experience or go through. And that conversation kind of started based off of this podcast with Crystal Renee. And I asked my sister like this question, and then we kind of got into it. But um, Two Chains, he's a rapper. He just wrote a book called The Little Voices in Your Head. And it's basically a book that like discusses um, how he follows God, and that intuition versus instinct, and that little voice that you hear inside your head. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, I used to feel so fucking crazy when I was younger, because I would literally feel like there was a little voice in my head when I would do something stupid, and it's like, don't do that, or don't ask that, or don't say that. And I always end up doing the complete opposite of what that voice is telling me not to do, and then I instantly regret it. So it was kind of like that. Him speaking of intuition versus instinct, and then being strong enough to listen to that voice inside of your head. And then, like, when you get that, like, when you do something, you shouldn't have done it because you had that voice inside your head. And again, like I'm telling you, like, don't do that, or don't say that, or whatever. And then you're always like, something told me not to do it, or something told me not to go there, or something told me. When you're saying that to yourself, that's that little voice in your head, that intuition that you should follow. Like, don't do the opposite of what that voice in your head is telling you to do. And I I felt that, because like I said, I always grew up, and even till this day, which is why I'm so much more in tune with myself. But I would have those voices inside of my head, like, where it's like, girl, don't do that. It's going to come back and bite you in the ass, or whatever. And I still end up doing it. And then I regret what I did, and literally say to myself, like, fuck, I should have listened. So um, I'm really interested in reading that book, because I feel like I can resonate with it very well. And I just can only imagine what my annotations in that book is going to look like, because when I read a book, whether it be like a spiritual book, or a book regarding financial resources, or even like urban fiction books, I always like to write down like the way I felt, or something in my life like this kind of correlates to. So just like when I go back to it in the future, or if I go back and read the book again, I can always be like, damn, I've come a long way, or if I'm still kind of going through the same shit. Um, and that's another reason why, like, I go so hard for my podcast, because I have that little voice in my head that's telling me, don't stop. Like, one day this is going to pay off. You might have to sit here and not have much of a big audience for a few years or whatever, but don't give up. Like, this is your passion, your source. Like, this is what's going to make you successful. So just keep striving and thriving and growing and promoting and all of the above, which is why I don't stop. Like, even if I need a downtime, I'll take my time, but I'll still end up recording, whether it be like the next day or whatever. The grind does not stop, especially when it comes to your success. And this is what I hear, feel, and see as my success in the future, on top of like many other positive streams of income. Um, I've been doing really well, so I give myself a pat on the back for that. I I don't know how to put this. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before too, but I've been missing my mom a lot lately, and I don't have her phone. Oh my goodness. I don't have her phone turned off. Like, her phone is still open on my line, so like I can text or call it, leave voicemails or whatever. Um, But I've been catching myself a lot this past week, just texting my mom's phone, giving her daily updates, like sending her pictures of baby girl, and just like giving her random updates about my life throughout the week. And like I said, I've been noticing I've been doing it a lot more lately. I don't know if it's like me really connecting with her because like I feel her presence. Like my daughter, when I'm holding her, um, I have a necklace on that I dedicated to my mom. The front of it has her initials, and then the back of it has like two of her sayings that I can always remember her saying, which is YOLO. Of course, we all know you only live once. So if you definitely can, or even if you can't, just like understand that it's always going to come back tenfold, but you only get one life. So live it how you wish to live it how it makes you happy. Don't regret anything. YOLO. And then fuck them. The best way I can describe this as is my mom was like a really big advocate for my past relationship. Like he would want something and I'd just be like, I don't know if I really want to do that, and she's like, do it, blah 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 blah. Like she would, I feel like, always be on his side. Then it came a point where I think my mom got like really sick. Not even think, but there became a point in time where my mom got like really sick before she ended up passing away, and me and this dude were still like beefing. He was not supportive at all, especially with what I was going through. He was so just stingy and just and like thinking about it just makes my skin crawl because you like as much as he was calling me selfish, he was really selfish, especially in that time of me actually needing somebody. He just was not there. And it just became a point in time where I guess like my mom was noticing that too, because when I really should have been loving on my mom and being there for my mom and supporting my mom, I was so busy running after that man or that dude or whatever that I had regrets like afterwards. But even in that process, like she was still so loving and so caring of me. Like she would ask me what was going on at like when she could, and I would tell her, and she'd just be like, fuck him. Fuck him. If he not making you happy, fuck him, Ashley. If he not doing this, then fuck him. And it didn't dawn on me then that like, you know, my mom was right. And at the end of the day, like, why is she saying this? Because she was such an advocate for him. But then after she passed, I could understand like why she was saying it, because she's passing. And at the end of the day, she just wants to see her daughter happy. And if that's not what's making me happy, stop chasing it, just like he wasn't chasing you, and just say fuck it. So yeah. Anyways, that's what it says on my necklace. And every time I hold my daughter like to my chest, whether I'm just like walking around with her, patting her on her back or whatever, she's literally clinging onto this necklace. And she's not yanking at it or like trying to pull it off my neck or like doing no crazy shit with it. She's literally just like laying on my chest and she's gripping this damn necklace, like just holding it, and she's just so content with it. And I literally just think to myself, like, that's my mom with my girl. Like, that's the best way I can put it, the best way that it makes me feel, because I'm just like, girlfriend. Like, I love that you're not trying to pull it off or anything like that, but I don't know why. I love it even more that you're really clinging to this necklace without even knowing what it means to me. And it's like you're holding it near and dear to your heart the same way I do, since I wear it every day. Um, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a really good feeling to have. So like I said, that's been making me miss my mom a lot. So like I said, I've been giving her like random daily updates or sending her pictures of the baby, just staying in touch with my mom. All right, so that was a lot there. I guess kind of like that also kind of falls into, not, I don't know, it doesn't, but I've been noticing that I've been giving myself a lot more time to decompress. Um, like I mentioned to y'all last week, my girl does not fuck with a car seat, or I don't even know if it's the car seat or the car ride, but one of them she don't mess with at all. So every time she gets in the car seat, she is literally hollering. And one day it just kind of like took me over the roof where I literally needed to come home. And I told my kids, like, do not bother me, don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't say nothing to me, just let me decompress. And I don't really know if it was because of her and all the crying, or because of like the commitment that my dad told me that he would make to me before I even had her, which was taking the boys to school for me for the first 6 weeks, or if it's because I was already annoyed with that. So I'm already putting in the atmosphere that she was going to act the exact same way that she acted, and it just stressed me out. But I literally just allowed myself to come home that day and just decompress. I sat on the couch, I had her, like, I was comforting her, but also trying to be there for my big boys, but letting them know, like, I need a second. Like, please don't go up there and do nothing stupid. Please don't ask me anything. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Just give me a second to decompress because I'm not feeling it. Um, and they received that very well. Like, even later on that day, they both came and asked me, like, are you feeling better now? Can we talk? This, that, and the third. And I'm like, you know what? Yes. And I appreciate you asking me that. Thank you for giving me that time to decompress. So what is it that you need from me now? And then also, I received some news from someone that I wasn't expecting to receive news from, or news about this person, where I really just had to say to myself, like, do I want to take this as a grain of salt? Or, like, why are you really telling me this? Or is this really relatable? Which, in a sense, a part of it was relatable, but I'm also like, do I say anything, especially with this information that you're giving me? I don't want to be used for it. Like, I just don't know. And I hate being in situations like that because I can't really tell if you're being genuine and authentic or not. Like, I can't really tell if you are saying all of this to me because of what you have lined up and you want what I say to help you. And mind you, this all happened in the same day as me needing to decompress from baby girl screaming her head off in the car. Um, so ultimately, with those two things kind of going on and me really just being like, what the fuck, that had me reach out to my therapist and kind of tell her a little bit about my day. That way, when we go into our next therapy session, she knows exactly what my week kind of entailed. Yeah. And then with decompressing, I've also like not been forcing myself or pushing myself to do the hard things that I thought about doing. My son had a football practice that he was supposed to attend, and honestly, I think it was the same day baby girl was hollering her head off in the car, and I didn't want to deal with having to put her back in the car and going through all of that again. So I ended up asking someone if they could take him to and from football for me, and they were just like, hey, I really can't. I can't pick him up today. I can drop him home. I just can't pick him up. They had prior obligations, which is fair because, like I said, it was literally the last minute. But I also was just like, no. Like, for me, I'm just going to say I'm not ready to do that. And I didn't. Like I said, I stayed home and I decompressed, and it's going to be okay because you have so many other football practices to go to. So, let me tell y'all something. When I say this week, when I say my weeks can either be smooth sailings or a load of what the fuck is going on, I don't think there's really an in between. There is no in between for me. It's either a good week or a terrible week. So I've also been trying to keep up with my boys' schedule, especially like their nighttime schedule, and especially with the youngest one because he's the one that just does not like to get up in the morning. Like, I almost have to threaten him for him to really get himself together because he's just not a morning person. And then his sleep pattern's not messed up, but he could literally stay up all night if I let him. Um, so I've really just been sticking to a schedule for them. which is, I've been doing pretty good about it. And you know that saying, like, it only takes 25 days for you to inherit a new habit. So that's kind of what I'm working on, is inheriting the habit of getting them whitewater rafting or getting them active at least 2 hours before bed, come home, eat dinner, take shower, go to bed. You don't have to go to sleep, but don't be on the game, don't be on the phone, don't be on the tablet. Turn the TV on, find you something to watch, and go to bed. And like I said, for the most part, it's been working out. Kind of slacked off yesterday because it was just a lot going on, and my dad had came and bought me dinner from my sister's house, and then he and I kind of started talking, and then it was like I completely forgot about it. Um, but we're gonna be back on schedule tomorrow. Do not fret. I'm gonna come home. Well, no, after I pick him up from school, we're gonna go see my grandmother and then pick up my oldest from school. We're gonna come home, and I think it's gonna be like chicken pot pies for dinner or leftovers for dinner because my sister did cook Easter dinner and nobody really ate except for my youngest. So yeah, I already have like tomorrow planned out in my head. Now let's just say it may happen today and it may not, but for sure we're shooting for tomorrow. Yeah, and my youngest just really needs it because I've told y'all before he's not really a morning person, but lately he's been doing a lot better with waking up in the morning, and I think it's because of the schedule. And that kind of like rolls into how I feel about keeping everybody held accountable, and that's myself included. If I say I'm going to do something, then I need to do it, or it needs to be done, and that's just something that I'm starting to expect from other people too. Like, if you're telling me you're going to do something, then you need to do it. I'm not going to beg you to do it. I'm not going to keep asking you to do it. I just need you to do it. And then if you can't do it, then that just lets me know that that's not like are part of the friendship that you kind of need to volunteer for or what have you, because I gotta hold y'all and myself accountable. And like that also comes with me working out or putting on weight like I feel like I'm doing, although I just had a baby. I have to hold myself accountable if I'm saying like I want this snatch back to be crazy by the time summer starts, and then here I am drinking all these fucking sodas or eating in the wee hours of night. Like, I get up and work out when I really don't. That's not a good thing. So I have to hold myself accountable and just be like, all right, girl, you might want to go eat a piece of that brisket, but instead save that shit for tomorrow. Take your ass in the garage, warm it up for a little bit, eat it with the barbecue sauce. Like, you'll be fine. Yeah. So that's just where I'm standing when it comes to accountability. That's just been a really big thing for me this past week. So I just want to make sure I keep focusing on that and drilling that into not only my head, but anybody else's around me that tells me that they're going to do something and just don't do it. I think it's just going to be like a one and done type of thing. This is a little random, right? But let's be honest. What about my podcast? It's not random. I want to know, and again, for this question and maybe the next question or whatever, you guys please send me your responses, thoughts, or you guys can do that by emailing me at highlytalkative@gmail.com. Okay, so how long does a baby need to breastfeed for? And I mean like time wise, not like 2 or 3 year old. I mean like literal time wise. Like, you breastfeed for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. And I ask that because like I'll notice that my baby girl will sometimes feed on one side and she will tear that side up, like to the point where she's doing like those long, like drawn out suctions from the boob. And sometimes like she'll sit there on that one side for 30 minutes, and then sometimes she wants to swap 15 minutes on one side, 15 minutes on the other. But in between those sessions, like, I literally try my hardest to burp her, that way she's not like super cranky or like gassy. But yeah, sometimes I go from side to side. Sometimes I do like a full 30 minutes on one side. But like I said, I want to know how long y'all do that for? Um, then another thing that I kind of know factors into it is, when is your baby really finished? Like, does your baby give you those signs like of, okay, yeah, like I'm done. I don't want this anymore. I don't care if you switch sides, like I'm done. Like, for example, my daughter's is, she'll spit my boob out, and she will put her, like, cop her hand right up under her neck, and she will go to sleep. Like, I'm done with this. You can have it. Put it away. Type sleep. And then do the 30 minutes apply to you. Because, like I said, I know some parents go longer. I know some parents in my head go shorter. And if you go shorter, is your baby full? Like, even if you go longer, is your baby full? Like, once that happens, what are they like after they finish feeding? Yeah, and then I already talked about like the alternating sides, but like I said, I kind of want to know who all does that. I don't want to have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I want to know who all does the alternating. And if you do the alternating, how long do you stay on each side? Yeah. And then I have one more topic before I log off, and that is, I know everybody is noticing how everything is getting more expensive, right? It's just like the cost of everything being more, and the fact that, like, are we actually living any better? And I say that because we're all, or most of us, are still getting paid the exact same pay rate that we were getting paid, but yet gas prices are going through the roof. Groceries are expensive as hell. Like, just the general aspect of living is getting so much more expensive. So I want to know, like, with all of those rising prices, are you substituting certain things so you can get food, or are you not getting as many snacks or as much produce or whatever when it comes to grocery shopping because you want to make things stretch? And, like, are we act are we actually happy? Are we happy, or are we just surviving? Because if you ask me, I'm gonna say I'm just surviving, because nothing about these prices make me happier. Nothing about me still getting paid the same amount that I'm getting paid, even though the economy is going through what it's going through and everything is getting more expensive. I can't, like, I'm not sad, or I'm not really like, oh my fucking god about it, but I'm also just like, I gotta move much more strategically than I was before. Because when gas was $2 and change, or $1 and change, I would literally fill up when I absolutely needed to fill up, and then go on about my business, because everything is just, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's stressful. I can't wait, or I'm hoping for the day that everything kind of goes back to normal. Like, I even text my sister today because I was ordering groceries, and the case of water from Walmart, the big case, was like $5 and change. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, when did this fucking happen? I swear this shit was just like $3 and change not even a couple weeks ago. And my sister was like, no, girl, it's been like that for a couple years now. And I'm just like, okay, well, where the fuck have I been? Under a rock? Because I don't remember these cases of water being this much. For real. And then lastly, have you changed any personal habits to kind of adapt to what the economy is, or adapt to the rising prices in gas, groceries, and more? Like, does your masseuse or your nail tech, or whoever did your eyebrows or eyelashes, are they charging you more right now because it's costing them more than it actually used to? Or are you cool enough with them for it to be like, girl, don't even worry about it. We can do, a little swap-a-roo. You get your hair done, and you get your hair done, and I'll get, like, some type of product or services from you, etc. No happy time type services. I mean, like, cleaning or whatever. Yeah, so when it comes to that, like I said, when it comes to everything costing more, and are we really, like, living, or are we just surviving? I kind of want to know your inputs on that. So, same email, highlytalkative@gmail.com. Send me an email with your response because I would really love to read the response that anyone has when it comes to that, because I know it's affecting more people than just one. I know it's, a thing that everybody is discussing right now. So, I want to know those questions. Yeah. So that being said, y'all, honestly, I'm going to cut it there. Your girl's tired AF. I need to go take a nap because I was putting my daughter to sleep and now it's just like sleep, sleep, sleep. But as always, I am available on all major streaming platforms: YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. You can also go to rss.com, search Highly Talkative Podcast, and you can pick any of the streaming podcast forums that you'd like to listen to me to. And then, as always, responses, feedback, donations, or whatever, highly talkative at gmail.com is the best way to do any of that. Like, follow, subscribe, continue to help me get to where I'm trying to go. I will always give the same love back that I receive because I am so appreciative. You guys have a great day. You guys have a great week. Don't let nobody fuck with you. Don't let nobody fuck it up. And I am out.